What is going on, guys? Okay, so today, I was gonna do a video this weekend about just like the markets and how SPY closed and stuff like that. I didn't get a chance to do it, so I'm doing it today. Now, again, this is from last week. These are some of our plays. Made a few $100s on APLD, and I actually sold half of my position, so I'm still in that. We're down on SoFi right now, but I do think that this is a good play, and I will buy more. And then we also made a few $100s. I actually sold a little higher, made a few $100s on MetU. This was from last week. Okay, so if you want plays like this, the link is in the description. Check out our Discord. We're making plays like this every day. I actually called out these IBIT plays as well, and they did pretty well. Okay, so again, I'm not gonna. I want to get into the charts because this week is a crazy week. Okay, now don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps push out the channel. If you like this kind of content, if you've been making money or following my channel and you see value in it, I'd really appreciate you guys doing that. Okay, so we're gonna get into the SPY chart now. Again, let's go to the daily time frame. Like I said last week, basically is I'm like, okay, we really can't break this level. We've come up to a point to where I've been saying this for weeks actually. I said once we break this, I'm like, if we break this, it's not going to be good. And as you can see, we've been doing nothing. Excuse me. Have kids and they're probably getting me sick. So I was like, once we break this level, it's not going to be good. We're probably going to come down and touch this 200 SMA. Now, as you can see, we're literally almost. I think within $2 away from that SMA from Friday's action, Friday's close, and then we've kind of rebounded a little bit. Now, there's a lot of things going on right now. We still have the whole conflict with Iran situation. We have this is going to be a crazy week. Like I told my Discord, we have an FOMC meeting this week. Powell's going to speak on Wednesday. Now, I did hear some talk around that he might pause rates. If he pauses rates, the markets are going to more than likely sell off. Now, as you can kind of see, I mean, anybody can see it. You can see that we're kind of just falling off a cliff here. We're kind of rolling over, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but like I said, that's just where we're headed. Now, do I think that this is going to last? No, obviously, we're going to bounce back. As I'm not worried about that at all. It's just the fact of the matter is that we're rolling over. We're coming into a place that nobody really wants to buy the dip, and if they are buying the dip, they're selling the rip. We're in a buy the dip, and then it rips up, and we're selling it. Okay, so and like I said again, like I've been saying, once we break this level, we're going down, and we've been. And if you look at like on a weekly time frame, if you look on a weekly time frame, that's a second weekly. We're below the 9 and the 21 EMA. I also have a school community, and I teach you about the 9 and the 21 EMA. The link is in the description for that as well if you want to go check that out. But every time we've been above, you figure something like this. Every time that we're above the 9 EMA and the 21 EMA, we're up, and then every time we're below it, like this here in the April lows of last year, once we broke down below it, we just kept selling off. Okay, so that's something to consider. That look at where we're at. We basically last week we rejected off of it. You see that wick right there? We literally rejected off of it. So what do I think? I think that today is Monday. I'm recording this Monday night. I believe that this was a relief, maybe a dead cat bounce. I don't believe that this is going to last. Again, nothing I say is financial advice. Always do your own research, okay? But I believe that today was a relief off of. Look at this: 4 days of just red last week. Literally Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we had to kind of come back up, just kind of bounce. Now, usually, typically on the day before the Fed meeting, the markets drop. Usually, okay, and then the day of, the markets just kind of stand still, okay, and then they kind of wait for what Powell's going to say. So I believe that unless he says, "Hey, we're getting a rate cut" or something like that, I believe the markets are going to sink and go even lower. Okay, so let me hop on over to Nvidia and show you that chart. Nvidia has basically just been chopping around, like I've been saying for months. It's literally just doing a whole lot of nothing. Now today they did make an announcement that they were going to make 100, no, not 100. $1 trillion before 2027. And like I was telling my Discord, I was like, what the heck is going on? Look at this candle right here. This was the news right here. And it was at 183.50 ish, and literally in one candle, boom, went all the way up to basically almost 190. 188, like 189 ish. So a $7, $6 candle, which was insane, and then we instantly sold off. Okay, so again, like I've been saying, we're in a place, and actually, if I'm being honest, I actually missed that move. I saw it pump up, and I was like, "What the heck is going on?" By the time I got to the charts, it already sold off. I was literally going to short it, and I was going to alert it in my Discord, and it literally the mover. We were already right here, and I was like, I don't want to buy it, and then it bounces. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave it alone. But again, we're in a place, like I've been saying, we're in a buy the dip, sell the rip environment. Again, buy the dip, sell the rip, and it's kind of coming back down here. So you want to be careful with the markets out there. I'm not going to say to be scared. You should always be invested. You should always have some a long term strategy. But right now, let's look on the bigger time frames. Now, I again, like I've been saying, this was actually these arrows right here. This was for my community. This was for my Discord. I actually alerted them saying, "Hey, these are some levels to play today." And actually, no, let's go into this real quick. Let me just go into like a 15-minute time frame. You can always play these levels. I mean, I put these in my Discord every single day, and you can play these levels. If it breaks above, you can go long. If it breaks below, you can go short. Okay, so again, if you want those kind of alerts, you want those kind of ideas, there's a lot of tools in there in the Discord. Go check out the Discord, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. Okay, now like I've been saying, I really want Tesla. I really want Nvidia to come back down and touch this 171 level. I believe that if Powell pauses the rates on Wednesday, and the FOMC meeting is at 12:30, which is 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's 12:30 my time, so you're gonna have to find out what time that is for you. But again, that's going to be a major player in this week's, in what's going to happen this week. Like I said, I would like this 171 level. Okay, and if we come down to this 171 level, I am going to be a huge buyer here on Nvidia. Okay, so excuse me. Okay. So that's Nvidia. Like I said, again, I really want this level to hit so we can finally break past 200. I do believe that it will break past 200 this year, but I do believe that it needs to come back down, test the support level one more time to go back higher. Okay. Now, I want to talk about Tesla. I haven't really talked about Tesla too much. I really don't talk about Tesla too much. I am a long-term trader in Tesla, so I really don't care what the price is of Tesla, but I will say that it's getting dangerously close to this 200 SMA. If you're in my Discord community or you've even been watching my channel, you know that the 200 SMA is a crucial area to either sell your position or take some profits or buy. Okay, so and real quick, I'll even just show you. I told this in my community as well. Again, there's the 200 SMA. This is APP. 200 SMA, $513. Look at where we're at. I mean, if you would have shorted this, that's a $70 move. You see what I'm saying? Now for Tesla, we're sitting right there. I mean, the 200 SMA is at what, 393? We're sitting at 395. So if we break this and we hold a daily candle below this level, I'm going to be looking for shorts. Okay, I'm going to be looking for a shorting opportunity. Now, where I see some potential, some bounce activity, let me actually pause the video, and then I will chart it real quick. Okay, so the first area that I really see is this 383 level. As you can see, we've hit it a few times. We bounced and stuff like that. We hit it here. We bounced. We hit it here. We bounced. Almost made an all-time high. Actually, no, that's when we did make an all-time high, and then we hit it here again, and then we kind of bounced a little bit. So we would really have to bounce on this level. Now, one thing I will say is that and this is something that I really show my Discord community. So check out the link in the description. I always tell them, there's always that one stock that's has relative strength or relative weakness, And lately, Tesla has had relative weakness. Okay. And I also show you, I tell my Discord community, hey, there's always that one ticker. There's always that one that's relative strength or relative weakness. And I'm like, hey, if the markets run, this one's gonna run. If the markets fall, this one's gonna drop because it's showing relative weakness. Okay. So now, and that's a sad day for me because I'm a Tesla holder. I have like 400 shares. So, so again, so if we break past this level tomorrow, sometime this week, I guaranteed, in my opinion, nothing I say is financial advice. We're coming to this 383 level, okay, and we're going to test it. We're going to test the waters. We're going to say, okay, are we going to bounce off of this level and go long, or are we going to continue to go lower? Okay, now I believe that if this doesn't hold, which again, if the markets tank, Tesla's already showing relative weakness. We're at 394, 395 right now. $10 move, that's not really that big of a deal. I think it's going to blow past this like nothing if the markets tank, okay? If the markets, go up, I don't think Tesla will do anything crazy. Now, if it blows past this level, my next level of support is here at 353. I think that 350, somewhere between the 350 range in this area will probably be the bottom unless we have a black swan event. The war escalates into something even crazier. Powell hikes rates or something like that. If there's a black swan, again, that's what a black swan is. Nobody knows that it's coming type thing. Then yeah, we can obviously go lower. Okay, but right now I don't see that coming. I don't see that happening. I see us hitting this level, seeing if we can hold it. I don't think we're going to hold it, and then coming down possibly to this level. Okay, that's what I'm seeing on Tesla. And yeah, that's honestly it, guys. I mean, again, just be careful out there this week. We have a Fed meeting, so we're at the mercy of Powell. We still have the war going on. We still have Trump making tweets, tweeting out stuff every single day. So we got to take it day by day. Join the Discord, check it out. Check out our plays, check out our alerts. I usually do like a morning brief to where I'm like, hey, this is what I'm kind of feeling for the day. I'm feeling bullish, I'm feeling bearish. But yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm leaning more towards bearish. I don't think that the markets are ready. I don't think there's a proper catalyst for us to pump yet. But I think that we're going to see more downside pressure. I think this 200 SMA is 100% getting tapped. Now, the next area really for support would be here at this 653 level. As you can see, there's some support there. Let me do this, like right there, at 652, 653. I think that could be a bottom, but again, we have to see. We have to play it by ear, and we're gonna have to see what the next couple of days and next couple of weeks happen and see what happens. Okay, so with that being said, be careful out there. Check out the Discord for my daily updates and daily plays, and that's basically it. We'll see you in the next video.